If we don't stream to YouTube today, it's not a matter. We can't be doing the YouTube thing and forget our regular thing. If we don't stream to YouTube today, it's okay. All that we can do now is tell people that the YouTube requested us to have a certain number of people subscribing before we can stream live. Finish. We don't have to be struggling because we want to satisfy people when there's nothing we can do. In life, you have to look at life from that angle. Don't try to satisfy people just for your own uncomfortability. Satisfy people when you yourself, you know that you are okay. If it is not possible, then it's not possible. Don't force yourself. In life, you always learn what is possible and what is not possible. When it is not possible, no matter how much you try to force yourself to make it possible, it won't be possible. You must look at it and see if it is possible. If it is possible, then you do everything that you can do to make it happen. But if you have done everything and it is not happening, then you should understand that it is not possible. It's just like somebody saying, bring the moon to my house. Yes, they said, bring the moon to my house. But then you two, you are trying so hard that the moon should come. It is never going to be possible.
Good afternoon, my name is Said. You are welcome to the Facebook Revolution live question and answer session and then we'll come and then begin the Q&A session. We will also address the requests that you made previously. Due to YouTube's minimum requirements for the live streaming on the mobile app, we will not be able to stream from YouTube today, but we will do well to make sure that as time goes on, with your help, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we reach a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. Then we can stream properly on the mobile app to you all worldwide. So let's go to Papa, Bokor Christopher Voncujovi. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everybody, wherever you may find yourself in whatever time zone you are. We are in Ghana. We are saying good afternoon to you from Africa Magic Temple. We are live streaming on a Revolution platform, the question and answer section. So we'll be going from here to pray, and then after the prayer, we will start your question and answer section. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'm saying hi to everybody who is out there. I'm saying hi to you all. So follow us as we go to pray to Legba at the gate, and then we'll come back to the belly. We need to, somebody has to send data onto my phone, so that even if we move away from the router, it will be able to have a connection, because I don't think I have enough data this morning. But I don't know how many minutes we will spend there. There's one thing you can do. You should extend the connection, but then don't break it. Because when you break it now, we will not be able to break. Do you understand? So how are we going to do the extension? But this has to be on, all through. So you guys try to join it all, but then don't break don't remove the router. So if you remove it, it will break, because what I have on it, I don't know whether the data on it is enough to stream. I have some small data on it. So that we'll have it in only one section all through. Take the other one. Okay, if I move it now, we are going to show the book. We are going to the book and I don't know how you go to the coffee when you go.
Voilà on.
That they can start a new session anyway. Did you get that right?
Should not close the gate.
You make sacrifice, definitely. Legba Adjor. One on the Medua muscle and opera, the Nicola, the Agoro. Legba Adjor. Legba Adjor. Legba Adjor. One on the Medua muscle and opera, Nicola, the Agoro, Jachina, Telebani, Jachina, Kutukasia, Ronagano Jachipo. The Nukaijo, or Egbe, a Cosragbe, make a Facebook live war, the Revolution platform. I'm a Siam, your activity, and Yakol, who came like Passia family, or your the Dorota, the Mauba job, you have a job, you know. The second of the job, you know. When a new year, you know, back, have you back a revolution? Have a African magic temple. Never man, I'll go to. Asimedi ebe jiro ko gbe nyasegbe asimedi emele mi ayo emele poli gbe meji oh medo agbo yo fa na gonu yo fa agbo majeso opepe zupepe itonozo le me ka pa gidi yo poli gbe meji yeku meji oli meji di meji loso meji mure meji abla meji akra meji bunda meji sa meji ka meji tukwe meji tula meji lete meji che meji fu meji poli che tula meyo klebo vide ke mo atoba do bo ame toba de nyade ame yo pete vosa ele fide oh vosa ne dana olo Jachi now, my name is here. Let me eat Facebook Live. Oh, I may be a question. May be a babia. Mina, my own turn on over. Took like Tanami. Let me see. Let me turn down on the Joe now. Joe. May you look me. May you doggy. May you let the video be a strong. May you let a corner of the day. Let's bury it. Oh. Legba, I'm going to put an over door. Never be here with the Gagiri, and the Garcia. I'm going to say, I'm going to attack on you. If I be getting I'm a revolution, African magic temple. I'm a Baba or Dollar, may you already do about can I know about me? About I'm about can you Adiga, but no poker. I may be someone I was at the original before I made it. I mean, the Bobon is Siamolo. The Bobon is 7 of it. Baby, go to that money. Essa me fa bala ne tolero. Ko fa fi me sa ko yonya tu fi zeka.
Because I've seen the first one.
Say that me back to get me. Got me back to the bomb me 2 euro. But to acquire the benefit. Give me the drink. Yes. Let him close the gate well.
Papa, please.
Go and close that gate well before you come here. Okay, everybody over there, we are now back to the Facebook Lives where we will answer your questions. We are now back into the office. We played to Legba already, and now we are here. I'm going to pray to Apeli and all the other Vodus here. Even though Apeli may be outside, I can pray to the Vodus, and they will go and work as they should. I believe when I'm here. I'm back to.
We are back from Legba, praying at Legba. Legba is a gate man. Papa prayed to Legba for all of us, including all of you, the viewers on our Facebook live stream Q&A session. So from here, Papa will pray to Abuchi, the mirror, and the other Vodus that are here. So let's turn our attention, and the cameraman also now focus on Papa.
Church make so close. No, I'm too close. The color of the whole don't use the Garania. The Okamoka will probably do. We need to do the Akain Bokor Christopher Pray me your Abuchi Sakpata to a bear double to Polly don't call Kuma Quagon, but Tomino Nature friend, and if you will be seen from your coffee to Japaku, or chop to a future heck of coffee actra, a yard black villabi, a movie, a moment, Mamma, Tommy, and go 100 travel and 100 travel and young. Then you are a pepper with the Sakpata people, nothing, a pretty aglo, not pretty passing, not pretty Wonuko, no. May you saying that they are for the cattle, when you have a better, a 3/4 mayor, a flag at his women, a flag of a blow with a amateur, a going to you at that way. Ema yo fana bulu fagbo ma Joseph because pepe to mo zole me dakpa bi me yo kwali do meji ekumeji wole meji di meji lo so meji mo meji abla meji akra meji guda meji sama meji kama meji turu meji no tula meji lete meji che meji fu meji kwali che tula me yo probability to to ba de bon to ba de nyade mo ko meji yo na yeme yo to be ho bato no ba vodo to tura ho du ma Sakpata gidi kunyo ko to ko sinyo ko to kere ku me ya kan be chuko kan ngole wa kan jogo wa kan bu wa kan tro wa kan mi wa kan difi wa kan na mi ata wa kan ga wa kan pe ko no ba ga do la ko pla ndo difi to so ndo yo me ya mi da ho babo wa ka kwa mi zango me nko yo ka wo jo pata jo maku afoka me vol mani chimo vol video me gbere ko ko ata fa me ko nyo he be jo ni mo to ya mo ju to and quite a bit in the film, but over to support women or the Pericata, they have to go over your Jopata, Obefia, Jopata. Metro Medamo of the family, Jopata, and Jopata, Cafamayo, Mr. Bond, to talk with them, Tapa, Pellutis, Bulu, Ajima, or Bojuko Doja, Hong and Valentin Valley, Jonakofu, I go Sakpate Mayo, I think the Mayo with La Fia, Akain Nahamilo. Yame yo amen I will not to Bokor to Jimmy or King has a point like Barasu Baragona Baha. e me yo boko uno honu na le vapo me ba fa e me yo ko je ko joga ni ba fa me yo agboja pe me no pete ba fa e me yo to be kabi me yo me keke me yo apo ple to pete be no ba fa e me yo papa ple to sule me ba fa e me yo apaglo preto pete ya tape egbe yen nkeke me to nko stoku yo na akoso agoku ni ba ha godo egbe yen nkeke le Facebook live oko mi le mi pete yo ya ba sile na psime na mi wo nde ni mi pota ni mi de kokolo pore we po na yo mi de dokwo pore po na yo ni mi de so ni pota ni mi jivile ni pota ni mi lo do wo ni pota ni awenye edoto kita mi kole mi se nyime no ngogbo na kada me gbere gbere ni awenye nyile ngogbo na mi ta me se no kekele mi akpo no kekele bi ne ba mana yore o gbe me dura ya fire ne kakara ka ba petire ne no pota na ba gboro na mi o pete da gbere no yes yo ile ready zone we are ready now for your questions.
Okay.
To anybody who is asking question, person should tell us where they are sending the questions for. Tell us their name, and also you should all share this on your platform so that other people can also join in and benefit from whatever we are teaching here. Share it, everybody share it so that people can join, so we can get more questions. And some of the questions, maybe you yourself, you may not think about it, but the person will, somebody else will think about it. And when they ask it and I'm able to answer, you also will benefit from it. So share all over your platforms, and let's get started. There is something that Senna wanted us to discuss as the beginning, and that is how to identify a fake priest from an authentic real priest. In reality, there is a saying that appearance deceives. I don't know how to put it, but that's the only way I can put it, that appearance deceives. A lot of fake priests on the social media, even in reality, you see them that they try to live more above their normal design. They show off, wear certain kind of clothing to create that scene that this person must be a very powerful person. Their appearance alone will tell you, or will confuse you, or convince you that, oh, this man is real. Sometimes you even go to their shrines, the way they live, before you see them, it becomes very difficult to see them. You must pass through many people before seeing one priest. And so many other things. So that is also one sign of someone who is not real. Anybody who is a real priest is very down to earth and very simple, because the knowledge is in your head. It is not in the clothing that you wear. It is not the way you appear. The thing is inside your head. Voodoo is inside your head and inside your heart. So you don't need to project any special way of living whereby you go to some priest before you see they put all the powder in their face and they will be doing like this, they'll be doing like this, as if something is chasing them, and they just wanted to scare you, to make you think that they are. Most of such people are fake priests. And an authentic priest will not be chasing you to come and do a reading, or come and do a vosa or a book. If an authentic priest did a reading for you and he tells you what you should do as the sacrifice or vosa, the Yoruba say ebo, he won't be pressuring you and say, come and do it, otherwise this will happen. No, it's your problem. It is up to you. If you want to do it, fine. If you don't want to do it, fine. It is your problem. All that the priest did was just to do a divination for you and tell you behind the scene things that you don't see, things that are affecting your life but you cannot see them. So when you did a reading, he was able to identify them, and then he gave you a guideline. So when you want to do it, it is up to you. If you don't want to do it, it's up to you. Because after all, the problem is not the priest's problem. The priest is just a third party. He is just an intermediary between you and whatever is challenging you, or whatever you are your challenges. So the priest is not going to put the pressure on you and say, "Oh, come and do it." But a fake priest will worry you day and night. Will come into your inbox, will come into your WhatsApp, will come into everything and trying to pressure you so that you will do it. A fake priest is very cheap because he knows that whatever he's going to do for you after all, it's not going to mean anything. So whatever you give him, you can bargain and bargain and bargain, and he will just take whatever you offer, because at the end of the day, you are not going to get anything anyway. But an authentic priest will charge you and tell you what he expects to get from you for whatever vosa, ritual, or ebo is going to do for you. Yes, you can ask him or her if there is any way he can reduce it. But if the person goes too low, below what he initially told you, then you know he's a fake priest. Whatever he's going to do for you, it's not going to work. So those are some of the signs of a fake priest. When you meet a real and authentic priest, you will be wondering whether this person really has power, because he may look too simple for you in his approach, in the way he talks, the way he chats with you and explains things to you. Sometimes you will be wondering whether this is a real person. But then also there are so many times the real and the unreal is very difficult to know which one is the real and which one is the unreal. So I will leave that to you for your own judgment. If you want someone to do a spiritual work for you, you must ask all the questions you need to ask in order to know whether that person is really the real, authentic priest to do your work or not to do your work. It is up to you. If you want to pay a fake priest, it's up to you. If you don't want to pay a fake priest, it's up to you. Most of the time, the fake priests are everywhere trying to use all kinds of ways to lure you to come closer to them. We at African Magic Temple and at Revolution, I had always told people that we are expensive. When I say we are expensive, because we know our worth, and we are not going to come begging you to come and do a reading with us. We are not going to come and beg you and say, "Oh, we did a reading for you. Why are you not coming to do the vosa or the ebo or the sacrifice?" No, we will do a reading for you. We will tell you what is needed to do your rituals. If you like to do it with us, fine. If you don't want to do it with us, there are so many other priests in the world. We are not the only priests in the world, and we are not forcing you. But we know what we will do for you. We work on you. That's why we know. That's why we charge people for what we do. Thank you very much. And then come with your questions.
Okay. I
read it loud.
Okay. Ekuyo.
Ekuyo.
Oh yes. Dieboma asks, how can Africans institutionalize voodoo and make an academic study out of it?
Ekuyo, thank you very much for the question. There's a lot of Africans who are doing voodoo in the universities and academic discipline. I have just gone to defend to help someone to defend their PhD in African voodoo studies. So it is not a new thing. There are so many people are doing. If you haven't seen it yet, there are so many people who are doing voodoo studies in the universities and around the world. So it's not a new thing. Maybe you haven't seen it yet, but there are many people doing.
Okay. Kofi Omare asks, ancestors, what qualifies a departed relative to become an ancestor?
Everybody who died. What is it? Kofi what?
Omari.
Kofi Omari. Yes, thank you for the question. But everybody who died is an ancestor. You don't need any other qualification. The qualification is dying. Once you die, you become an ancestor. Whether you are a good ancestor or bad ancestor, that is another thing. But the truth is that once you die, anybody who died on your lineage is an ancestor. So you don't need any other qualification. The qualification is to die.
Okay. In that same question, he asks, can anyone not directly related to you by blood or DNA be your ancestor who has passed
Cannot, if it's not directly on your DNA, on your blood link, Kofi, the truth is that that person cannot be your ancestor. He is an ancestor for the people that he has a blood lineage with. Yes, you can involve him in your prayer because he is also an ancestor for somebody. And then you must have a relationship with that person somehow to be able to call him to work for you. Okay, it's like I have my teachers, and some of my teachers have passed on. They have become ancestors to, what do you call it? They have become ancestors to their families and their children and grandchildren. But also they are an ancestor to me because they had been my teacher at one time in my life. So when I am praying, I invoke them as an ancestor to intercede because they have met me and they have taught me. And I am remembering and acknowledging their memory. And this is what I am doing by calling them an ancestor. But I can't go and call someone who does not know anything about me an ancestor and I expect that person to intercede on my behalf. It is difficult. You must have some kind of relationship with the person before you can invoke the memory of that person to work for you. Kofi, I hope I am Kofi Omari. I hope I'm clear with this. But if you are not clear, you can still ask more questions and then we will see.
Okay. Ifa Dara from Augusta, Georgia asks, Papa, can you explain the importance of receiving
Is it Ifa or Afidara?
Ifa Dara.
Is it Ifa?
Yes.
Okay.
Ifa Dara asks, can you explain the
Are you sure
importance?
it's Ifa?
Yes.
Ifa, I-F-A?
Yes.
Okay, Ifa Dara. Yes, how are you, my dear? Thank you for the question. You said what? What's the question again?
Can you explain the importance of receiving Egbe?
Egbe is a Yoruba word. I'm not understand what it means by Egbe, whether it is spirit you are talking about or herbals, because I know herbs are away. I don't know what is Egbe. It can explain to me a little bit more, then I'll be able to tell, give the answer. So, Ifa Dara, please let me understand what Egbe is so that I can bring the answer to you.
Okay. Yao Osei from Accra wants to know the difference between Sakpata and Legba.
Okay. Sakpata is also a Vodu, which we call Anigbato in Ewe. The Ewes also call it Sakpata, but then we also call it Anigbato. And at the same time, it is called in Ifa, Babalu Aye, because Baba means father, and Aye is the earth or the world. So Babalu Aye, the owner of the earth, or Anigbato, like as it is in Ewe. So that is what Sakpata is. Yes, Sakpata sometimes is also placed at the gate side, but the difference between Legba and Sakpata is that Legba is outside the gate as a gate man in front of the house, while Sakpata is inside the house behind the gate. This is the difference that I know. But they all work as securities. But Legba is called Legba and it's called a shoe in Yoruba. Some people call it a shoe, but then some people call it Legbara, and we in Ewe we just call it simply Legba.
Okay. Thank you for that answer, Papa. Julius Zewu wants to know when the Akain Oil and the Lucky soap will be ready and how much it will cost.
Yes, Julius, thank you very much. We are actually working on it. We realize that we don't have enough soap to sell. And also, one thing is that this is the first time in the history of my family. When I say my family, I'm talking about the Voncujovi family, as well as African Magic Temple and also Revolution. This is the first time we are going to market our products to the world directly, especially the Akain Oil. It has always been a family heritage, and we never give it out to outsiders unless you are initiated. So for this first time that I am going to give Akain out, I gave one small bottle to one gentleman who came here last Sunday, Mr. Israel Ba. I gave that one to him. He actually took the first bottle. We are thinking of putting a fumigation, or what we call the Adjor, the soap and the oil together as one package, so that a person will fumigate themselves. You bath, and after bathing you fumigate yourself, and when you fumigate yourself, then you use the Akain Oil before you go out. So this 3 in 1 package is a very powerful one that for the first time in the history of my spiritual practice, that people who have not been initiated into Akain, that I am giving the Akain Oil out. I don't. Yes, I may give it to my own children, because whenever I am not there, I know that when Akain is there, they are protected just as if I were there myself. So for my children and my wife, I made for them. But outside my family, I don't give it to people. That's the truth. And if you ask my children, they will tell you, I don't give it to people. Yes, I have initiated some people into Akain, especially those people who took initiation in our shrine. Yes, I will initiate you into Akain, but I don't make Akain for you. Unless you requested that it should be made for you, then I will prepare Akain and I'll tell you the things that I will need. When you get me all the things, then I'll prepare the Akain for you. But for this first time, we are now trying to sell or give the Akain Oil out to the public. I am still not totally decided on how much I'm going to sell it, honestly speaking. But I want people who will get the Akain from us, get the soap and get the fumigation from us, to benefit from it to the maximum, that our name will remain in their minds when it comes to spirituality, and they will know that this thing, when you have it, it will change your life. It's not everybody who can travel and come to Ghana for destiny change and all other initiations. But then we are going to tell the spirits that we are giving this soap, the fumigation and the Akain Oil out, even though people have not been initiated. And those people who acquire this Akain Oil, the soap and the thing, should get the maximum benefit. Maybe by the end of the today's session, we will find out how much we will be selling the package. And then if people who don't want to buy it as a package or 3 in 1, maybe they will buy it separately, but then we will just break it down. So as at the moment I'm sitting here, I have not even decided on any price yet. Thank you very much. That Julius,
yes.
Yes, Mr. Zewu, thank you.
All right. Brian Abin, Secho Afia. He says, good afternoon, Papa.
Yeah, good afternoon, Secho. How are you? How is the North treating you? I heard that there was so many confusion over the people, a shortage of paper and all kind of other paper or whatever. But then we are happy that you have joined us this afternoon at Brian.
He wants to know whether it's true or not that plants can talk to herbalists or priests.
In a simple language, I'll say yes, it is true. But it is not everybody that the plants talk to. You must be aware and you must be awakened in such a way that everything can talk to you, not only plants, even flies, animals. If my wife Chieko is and my children are watching, they probably will bear testimony that yes, plants talk, and even now our pets in the house can communicate with me, and I can give their information back to them, and then later they will see what has happened during that time. So it is when you are awakening your third eye or your extrasensory perception skills or talent has been developed to the point that you can pick the vibration of the thoughts of these animals very easily or from the plant. Plants speak. Even Senna will testify, Pele will testify, because we have trained them through that even when they were at school or they were traveling in Puerto Rico or Costa Rica and other places, sometimes some plants will just call them that they are here, and then they noticed that plant in Ghana before going, and then they didn't expect to see them in that part of the world, but the plants will just tell them, oh, we are here, and before they then the plant is there. So yes, plants can communicate with human beings when you are aware.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Papa. Monica Kova from New York says good morning and blessings to you and your family.
Good morning, Monica, and blessings to you too. We are here, we are fine, and we are thanking you for joining us.
Okay. Nana Koko Sechi from Maryland asks, what do you call the dwarfs and what is their role in Voodoo?
Okay, Nana, good afternoon to you or good morning to you, wherever you are. We are in afternoon in Ghana, and the dwarfs are called in our language, Ewe language, Aziza. And the Ewe dialect that I speak, which is the central Ewe, we call them Adiekwe. Adiekwe means they are like, we call them hunters, Abela, which is Adie. And then the Kwe means a short one who is also in the forest, is a hunter in the forest, it's very short. So in my local Ewe dialect, we say Adiekwe. But the general name in Ewe or standard Ewe, which is the Anglo Ewe or the Southern Ewe, they are called Aziza. That's how they are called. Their role in Voodoo is to teach man about herbs and how to use herbs to solve problems, as well as our relationship with the Supreme and nature in general. Because I'm saying this because these are from my own personal experience, not someone's teaching. So their work is to teach us about nature, how to relate to nature, which is what I had always said, that nature is Voodoo, or nature is God and God is nature. So the role of the Aziza or the Adiekwe or the dwarfs, as people may call them in English language, is to tell man about how to respect nature, how to use nature, and how to live in harmony with nature. That is the role of the Aziza. Thank you.
Wadia McNeil in the US.
Wadia?
Yes.
McNeil.
In the US asks, how do we in the US get started with practicing our African traditional spiritual ways? What must we learn and do first?
Okay, Mr. Wadia, is it a woman?
Yes.
Oh, madam, sorry. Because you say Wadia McNeil, I don't know whether it's a man or a woman. So, my sister, we have taught a lot of things on our Revolution platform, how to pour libation to your ancestors. Because that is the first and foremost to start with, because that one is directly, you don't need to be initiated to pour a libation to the people whose blood lineage you are from and whose DNA is running in your body. You don't need any initiation whatsoever. All that you may need is to know their names from paternal and maternal side, know their names, and call upon them. Even if you don't want to use alcohol, you can use ordinary water and then pour libation to them and try to remember their memory and also to acknowledge their presence in you, because at the end of the day, their blood is what is running in you. So you must acknowledge their presence in you, because they were, you are. Because if they hadn't been, you wouldn't be here. So this is the acknowledgement of the ancestors. So you can start basically with just praying to your ancestors and asking them to intercede on your behalf, and at the same time thanking them for letting you be, because without them you wouldn't have been here. So you must thank them, acknowledge them in your everyday life, that is the beginning. And by so doing, within some weeks, you will begin to see changes in your life. It is natural and very practical. The African way of relating to God through our ancestors and through nature is a very practical way. You don't need to wait for any heaven to come before you experience them, because you are here and you must live in the moment. Heaven, if it exists, is very far. Nobody has ever gone there and came back. Only white people have drawn pictures for us. We haven't even seen any of our kind over there yet. It's not in any picture. So how sure are you that you will be going there or you will be accepted there? It's a very big mistake. But you know that your grandfather accepted you. That's why you were born. Because if your ancestors did not accept you to be born, you wouldn't be born. You could be a stillborn child. Someone can choose to abort your pregnancy when you were pregnant. When they were pregnant with you. So that acknowledgement of that presence of your ancestors in you is what matters. I'm a little bit himself. Ancestors in you is what matters. So it is very important to start by pouring libation. There's so much teaching in our pages and on the Revolution platform about libation. Also, when you go onto the internet as a whole, when you go into ancestral voices and all these things, they also teach a lot of things, and they have books written, especially Ancestral Voices has written so many books about how to connect yourself with the ancestors. So you look into our pages and you can read our videos. We will show our Facebook Live. Some of them are about 1 month ago, or about 1 or 5 weeks ago. I have taught about how to pour libation even when you are living in a metropolitan city, in a mansion, in a concrete and tile house or building. You can still pour libation. Even if you are living on the 100th floor, you can still pour libation. So thank you very much. What's the name? McLean?
This is Wadia McLean.
Yes, Madam Wadia McLean. I am thanking you for the question.
Yes. Papa, I remember some few months ago I was touched by my essay on my arms. Gail Morris also asks the same question.
Gail Morris?
Yes, Gail Morris. She wants to know what that means.
Oh, sometimes your essay scratches you. Even yesterday we did a 7 removal of bad destiny for one beautiful woman yesterday night. And she called me this morning that she woke up. She slept very deep and she could not remember any of her dreams. For the first time, she slept very deep and she could not remember anything of her dream. But she just woke up and she realized that she was so tired, as if she has done something so much. So I was explaining to her that the bad destiny sometimes scratches you to bring awareness to you to do something about what is your condition or your situation in which you are. What are you doing about it? So your destiny, either the bad or the good one, any of them can scratch you to awaken you so that you should start thinking of what to do with the situation in which you are. And you will see that most of the time it is when you are having some doubts or difficulties or challenges in life and your mind is not resting. That is the time that you see scratches or something. You feel like you have been beaten or tired and all these things. And when it is done, when the removal of the destiny or destiny is properly aligned, then these things go away. But they don't go completely. Once in a while, your cell will come and tell you that it's aware or it's present, especially when you are in difficult situations.
Wadia McNeil says thank you for the wisdom. She's so grateful.
We thank her.
Atiku Adris wants to find out whether you mentioned a spirit by name Sule during the libation. And he also wants to know whether Sule is the name of a Guru Voodoo or not.
Okay, Atiku Idris. Is it not Idris?
Yes.
Idris, yeah. How are you? Thank you for the question. No, see, the Sule It's not a voodoo, but there are voodoos that came from the northern part of Africa that have Muslim names, and people use them, like the voodoo Alafia, which is a Guru voodoo, is Alafia. So it's also a northern spirit, so it's connected to Islam in one way or the other. That's why they call it Alafia voodoo. But the Sule I was mentioning in the mirror was a person who binded the mirror when the mirror was made for me. He was the one who sewed the cloth onto the mirror and binded it. So whenever I am invoking my teachers and the voodoos that are inside the mirror and the voodoos that speak to me through the mirror, when I am invoking the voodoos, I also invoke my ancestors, my grandfathers, my grandmothers, my teachers, and the people who had the mirror before it was passed on to me. So I mentioned their names also in the this, even though directly they are not coming from my blood lineage, but because of them I am able to have this knowledge. So I acknowledge their memory. And then I am happy to give them drink, so that when I sit down, they all will come and talk to me, so that I can also get some knowledge and wisdom and able to explain things to you people. This is why. So Sule in my prayer was not a voodoo, but was a human being who has passed on. But he was part of the mirror, that in the sense that he was the one who sewed the clothing and everything, and doing the binding of the voodoo. He was part of the herbal collection and everything. So when I pray, I give him drink as well.
Okay. Adjor Ayebia Labi asks, why do people associate voodoo practice with witchcraft?
Yes, people associate voodoo with every kind of evil thing, because people who talk about voodoo as witchcraft or voodoo as evil have not had the opportunity themselves to practice. They are always looking at voodoo from the European point or Christian view. So anything that is not Christ-like, according to Christians, is evil. So since voodoo talks about Africanness and Africans, the black people, and what we have had before the white man came to our shores, and our people have been deceived to believe that it is not good, that the European way of worshipping of God or the ancestors or whatever is good. So voodoo has always been looked upon as evil or witchcraft. But the truth is that voodoo practice is not witchcraft. The witches can also practice voodoo. Voodoo is not limited to only good people. Anybody can practice voodoo, because voodoo simply means spirit. Anyone who is practicing spiritual practice is actually practicing voodoo. So voodoo is not witchcraft, but witches can also practice it.
Okay, thank you, Papa.
That was Adjor Ayebia. Okay, thank you very much, Adjor.
Suyan Wilton.
What call the name? Suyan.
Yes.
Okay.
Suyan Wilton asks, is it okay for a medical doctor who also practices voodoo to incorporate the two when needed?
When he needed? Yes, of course. People had Suyan. Is it Suyan?
Yes.
Suyan what?
Yeah,
Wilton.
I think it's Sean.
Suyan.
Is it Sean?
It's Suyan.
Suyan?
Yes.
Suyan Wilton. Okay. Yes, I had also said some time back that even in Ghana here, where we operate or where our shrine is, sometimes people are in the hospital and they are having very difficulty, even though they are having medical attention. Such people sometimes will be brought to my shrine. I will do prayers and do certain rituals for them and send them back to the hospital before whatever they are suffering from will change. There was a case of a judge, a senior high court judge, who was having a very serious problem with his heart. He had a heart surgery, but then he was having a very difficulty and he could just pass on. Luckily, the family knew me, so they came over, we did a reading, we saw what was going wrong. So I had to go to the intensive care in the general hospital to administer some voodoo things to him there, and then in front of everybody within 2-3 minutes, the situation changed for the better, and he had a good. Then from there on, the medical doctors were able to attend to him, and he is back on his feet and very strong. So a medical doctor who practices voodoo will even know how to do his or her work better, because you will also be getting information from the unseen, invisible forces who will give you direction to how to solve problems. In Ghana, it was known that those days when the Indian doctors were in Ghana, sometimes when they bring people for surgery, they just the Indian doctor will tell people that this is not a hospital sickness, go back home and do this and do that before they bring you back. And it has been happening. And if our own black people could also use voodoo or our spiritual practice or our ancestral traditional spirituality, learn it and know it very well and inculcate it into their practice, it will be wonderful.
Okay. Thank you, Papa.
So I am asking and appealing to you who are watching this, in that you should share what we are doing right now on your platform for others to see, so that it can spread, so that more people can get come to our traditional practices and get a good use of it, get benefit from it. So what do you call it? Please share. We are live now. So please, we are live on air. So share it on your platforms and let other people join in, so that they can also enjoy this very moment. We have only 2 hours to go. All together, it will be 2 hours. I think we are almost about 30 minutes into it already. So please share on your platforms and let others join in. Thank you, everybody.
If I call an ancestor who was Christian and not into African traditional spirituality or voodoo, will he or she be present to listen to me or help me? That's from Yon Kwon.
Yon Kwon. The proof is that an ancestor came into this world, or whoever came into this world, did not come with any religion. You should always keep that in mind. We came into this world to know what is Christianity, what is Islam, what is Hinduism, what is traditional practices. We came here, and when we are living, we are not taking any religion or anything of such with us. When we die and remain as what we were. It's only the good things and the bad things that you do in this life, or you did in this life, are the only things that are going to be in your record. There's not going to be any record of saying that you are a voodoo priest. There is not going to be any record of saying that you were a Muslim or you were a Christian. That is only for human and living human beings to do. When you die, you are pure, and you know that you only know truth and you know lie. So when an ancestor who was a Christian died and you are pouring libation for that ancestor does not even know, or is not going to know whether he was a Christian or not, but he knows that it exists in the invisible world. And when you give whatever you give, yes, it has to listen to you, because an ancestor is someone from your blood lineage. There was nobody called a Christian and there was nobody called a Muslim until you came into this world to meet your parents. If your parents were Muslims, you would have been a Muslim. And if your parents were Christians, you would have been a Christian. If your parents were traditionalists, you would have been a traditionalist. But you came as a spirit through them to come into this world. So an ancestor is anybody who is on your blood lineage. It has nothing to do with the religion whatsoever.
Okay. Andrea McNeil asks, how can we stop the evil eye?
Andrea McNeil, what do you call it? Stopping evil eye is by doing things that can stop the evil eye. You can't just say, I want to stop evil eye and it will stop. You need to do the rituals that can be stronger than the evil eye, then it will stop. But then you can't just do the rituals, because if you have not been taught to do rituals or you are not initiated, you can't do successful rituals. You may do, whether they will be successful or they may not be successful, that is yet to be known. But people who are initiated and who has got the super hands or superman's hands or superwoman's hands to do rituals or do voodoo or any spiritual things, when they touch things, things change. So such people are the ones that can do rituals that can stop evil eye.
Okay. Thank you. Dario Herura wants to know how he can learn more about African traditional spirituality or voodoo and where he can start.
Dario Heru, I've been seeing your postings and listening. How are you? Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. To learn how to do African spirituality, first you must identify a teacher and then find that teacher. When you identify a teacher and you find that teacher, then you will let that teacher teach you how to get into African traditional spirituality. You should also remember and know it that Africans don't have a religion. Africans do not have a religion. We have spirituality. Because religion is based on human beings who came to live and gone. But African traditional spirituality is not based on any particular personality of like a human being that has passed and gone. It is based on nature and spirits of nature. I heard today on BBC that the Pope has conferred sainthood on I think 10 people that have conferred sainthood on 10 people. In 100 years' time, these saints that Pope had conferred, Pope being a human being, has conferred sainthood, or they were canonized. They were canonized as saints. In another 50 to 100 years' time, these very people will, in the minds of children, they will think that these people were gods. And a lot of people would think that, let's say, even 100 years is too long. If a Pope canonized a particular human being who was living like you and I, was eating salt and pepper, and was doing good and bad, has been canonized as a saint. I think 10 people today, yet 10 or more people today. There was one Mexican, and even there was one British man who also was canonized. They are now called saints. Just like how they conferred Teresa in Calcutta to become Mother Teresa as a saint. In another 50 years from now, children that will be born, they will think that Mother Teresa wasn't a human being. They will be thinking that Mother Teresa came from heaven or was living in heaven all along, and they will start worshipping her. So when we, as Africans, who is going to confer or canonize any of our ancestors to be a saint? No one. It is ourselves who will have to know who is a saint and who is not a saint. So when you identify a teacher, and that teacher you think is good to teach you, approach that teacher and ask the teacher how you can start. Thank you very much, Heru Rat.
Yao say asks, hello again, Papa.
I mean, if I call a me that you call
Yao say says, asks, hello, Papa. Please, what is the difference between Tigari and Alafia? If there is a difference, please throw more light on it. Thank you. Yao Accra.
Yao
from Accra.
Yes, Yao Accra.
Yes.
You, Mr. Yao Accra. Yes, I know.
Yao from Accra.
Yao from Accra. Okay. Thank you for the question. You are asking about Atigari and Alafia. I think Alafia is Alafia, as the name is. There's a voodoo called Alafia. People call it Goro Vodu. People call it Blekunde. People call it Kunde. And people have other names for it. And it is also called Alafia. But Tigeri is also called Tigeri, which is actually a northern spirit. In our area, we don't call it Tigeri, we call it Atigali. That's how we call it in our area, Atigali. People call it Tigari. The Akans call it Tigari, but the northern people where it originated from, they call it Tigeri. So we may have to find out from people from the area where it originated from that what is the meaning of Tigeri. But Alafia or Goro Vodu or Kunde or Blekunde, I don't know which another name for it, they are all different. Alafia is different from Tigeri because the rituals that are done for Alafia Vodu, I think they are totally different from the rituals that are done for Tigeri. So I don't think they are the same thing. Otherwise, from my own experience and research and things I have done in my life, I have not seen Alafia and Tigeri to be the same spirit. That's to Yao from Accra.
Yes. Atukwamena Amamo, who is also watching us from Accra, asks, please, Papa, what is the difference between evil or demonic spirit and voodoo spirit?
What's the name? Atukwamena Amamu. Eh?
Yes.
Yes. What is demonic spirit in your own understanding? Why I ask such question is that there is nothing like a demonic spirit or a good spirit. Spirit is spirit, and they were all equally created by God. Each one has its own role to play in our universe. Some can appear visible, but most of the time they are all invisible energies. When you say demonic, you mean that the spirit is doing something bad. That's why it's demonic. But then when the spirit is doing something good, then it's called a good spirit or angelic spirit. But the truth about it all is that no spirit is bad and no spirit is good. All spirits are created equal, and they are spirits, and they all measure equally before the Creator in every way. It is you and I, as human beings, when we acquire these spirits, it depends on how we use it. Then the spirit becomes demonic to someone. But also you should remember that something that is a good spirit to me will be a bad spirit or a demonic spirit to my enemy. Why? Because if the spirit is defending me and torturing and tormenting my enemy will call it a demonic spirit. But I, who it is defending and protecting, I will call it an angelic spirit. So there is nothing in this world called good or bad. It depends on the viewpoint where you are coming from and how you use it.
Okay. Thank you. Kofi K. Setson. Please, can I pour libation in the water before I take my bath?
If you want to, then pour libation anywhere. But usually we are pouring libation onto the earth because the Mother Earth, as I say, Anigba, Aye, they are the ones that we are pouring the libation on because that's the one that feeds us when we walk on it. So why will you choose to pour a libation inside water before bathing? Why you don't pour it on the ground? But if it is for a particular purpose, like you want to empower the bath that you are going to bath and you are calling your ancestors in it, fine. It is okay. You can do that.
I have a related question. You taught us that if we live somewhere, we can't, maybe we can pray in our rooms where it's cemented and all that. So let's say you have a bowl, you put your sand in it, you've been praying in it, you've been pouring water, drink. So let's say if you are eating and ancestors want to wear, can you put same food there? And with time, can you change the sand because it's in your room?
Yes, Senna, what you are, the question you asked is a very good question. Yes, we taught you people how to pray in your rooms because we are living in modern times and you may not be in a place where everybody will be liking the way you pray. But then, of course, if you had hold the Bible early morning and shouting at the people's windows, no one will complain because it is part of us. But even just by keeping silent and pouring water in front of your room or outside your gate, people will start to look at you as an evil person. But you can make noise, you can even make Allah Kubaru very loudly at dawn in people's ears, you are fine. But the moment you are playing silently with a glass of drink or water and you are not even shouting, nobody is even hearing what you are saying, you are not disturbing anyone, but people will say you are an evil person. That's our society, that's how we have become in this modern time. When you have your bowl of sand in your corner, in a corner of your house, and you are praying, yes, when you eat food and you feel like you want to drop a food for the ancestors, you can drop it into that bowl and say, oh, my ancestors, this is the food I am eating. And if what I'm eating, any of you eat such food, please then come and enjoy or join me. This is yours that I place here for you. So you can do that. Then from time to time, of course, you have to clean, because it's in a room, you have to clean it. Even if it is outside, after some time, you will have to clean the place to make it look nice. So yes, you can clean it and pour a new sand into it just to keep the place clean and refreshed.
Frankie Wendell Gilmore from Colombia.
Frankie Wendell?
Yes.
Gilmore?
Yes.
Okay.
From Colombia.
From Colombia, okay.
He asks, sorry, things just not going right for me right now. What should I do to change that?
Okay, Frankie Gilmore, the best advice I can give you as a priest is to approach any priest that is close to you or any priest that can do a divination for you, so that you will find out exactly what is going wrong in your life, why you are going through the challenges that you are going through. Through a divination or a reading, they will be able to identify the causes of your difficulties or your challenges. And then the divination also, or the oracle also, will tell what things you are supposed to do to change the situation in which you are now. But by sitting down and pouring libation alone will not change anything. You need to do a divination and find out exactly what is going on in your life, and also know the solutions or what to do to change that solution. That's my advice.
Okay. Van Perry from US. Please talk more about the eating of the earth ritual.
Eating of the earth
ritual.
Eating of the earth
on the WhatsApp platform.
I'm not on WhatsApp. Van Perry, the truth is that I am not on that WhatsApp because there were so many questions from the beginning. People were asking, and I don't see people asking. I'm sorry to say, I said that it was stupid questions, like whether Vodu has got a gender balance and all this. I don't know what God created gender balance. It is human beings who are creating gender balance. God has created everything. Today there are more women in the world than men. But then why won't we ask God to balance that gender? So when people come with such kind of questions, I'm a very practical person and a very direct person. I don't succumb to such kind of things. And if I speak, sometimes my children feel that, oh, I'm old and I'm not coming from their point. So I'm not on that platform. So whatever is discussed on that platform, I don't know. Senna and Pele will be the best people to answer that question, because I don't know what that platform is. I'm not a member.
Gio Morris asks, hello, what does it mean when you are physically mad during initiation?
Who said that when people are initiated they are physically mad? Who said so? There is nothing like people getting physically mad during initiation. You may be possessed by the energy that they are introducing it to, trying to get used to you, or you getting used to it. And that is the concept of initiation, to introduce an outside energy who you are going to work with, which will open your psychic doors and your spiritual doors, so that you can now be on the spiritual path and be on that path, knowing that you have a guide and a guard, someone that is leading you and seeing your back for you. That is what the initiation is about. So when you are initiated and you are lucky to have a possession of the spirits that you are being initiated into, it's not called madness. It cannot be called madness. But if someone calls it madness, yeah, maybe they understood why they are calling it madness. But from my knowledge and in my shrine, when you are initiated, yes, we are expecting that energy should influence your life and remove the negativity in your life, and now you become like a born again child, and slowly you learn the ways of the ancestors, you learn the ways of nature, you learn the ways of the visible and invisible entities that are around your life, then you use them. So you cannot call that madness, but maybe some people may call it madness, but not at my shrine.
Okay.
Who asked that question?
That was Jill.
Jill, so that's my answer. If you have some more question to add or to elaborate it, the question more, then I should be able to tell you.
Okay. Kofi Setsu says, my name is Kofi Pogo.
Kofi Pogo?
Yes. Can anyone be a Huno?
Yeah, Pogo. The truth is that, what is the meaning of Huno? The word Huno is coming from two different words in Ewe. One is Hu. And what is Hu? Hu is God in Ewe. Because the real name of God in Ewe is not Mauga Sobolisa or Mauga Kitikata or Mauga Ese or anything. The real name of God in Ewe is Hu. Because the word Hu is also in the Hebrew book 6 and 7 book of Moses, that is the name of the deity itself. Because everybody speaks. When you are happy, you say. When you are sad, you say. So that is the spirit of God that is inside living things, is what is called in Ewe, and that is God. So if the spirit of is out of your body, you will be called a dead person or dead body. It's not even dead person, you call dead body because it remains only body. You are no more person. It's only the body that remains. So when a person who is in charge of or who does the work of is called Huno in Ewe. And No, which is a mother or owner or someone who is in charge of, is called Huno. And if Huno is the one who starts, when you get older and you get other people under you and you start teaching people and people are learning from you, the Ewes will call you Hunoga, which the Haitians and people learning from French background, instead of calling the word as it should be called, like they say they say Uga. Somebody say I was initiated into Uga. There's nothing called Uga in Ewe Vodu. It is Hunoga. So if they are removing the H and pronouncing it Uga, 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 it is not real. I'll tell everybody who is practicing such things and say I am being initiated into Uga. There is nothing called Uga in Ewe Vodu. Vodu come from Ewe land before it spread to anywhere. Is the word. It is never shortened by saying It's always That is what Ekanka people are saying, that Hugh. There's nothing called Hugh. It's called Let us say Hugh. I am Hugh. There's nothing called Hugh. Hugh. What's the meaning of Hugh? It's the word It's pronounced Hu with a nasal sound, a santegui on top of it, make it So you don't pronounce anything Uga, Uga, Uga. It's Hunga. Ga means big in Ewe. Hunoga or Hunga, Ga, big. So which is good. This is a person who is a god. In the deity is called which is inside everybody. Huno, the mother of or owner or someone is in charge of Huno. Ga, someone who is a high priest in working with will be called Hunoga, but they will never be called Uga. Because if they say Uga, what's the meaning? I mean, if you come to the word, if you say Uga, what does it mean in Ewe? Because the word Vodu is Ewe word. And Huno, Hunoga are all Ewe words. They are not Francais. It's not French. So, if you want to be everybody and anyone can be Huno. If you decide to learn the ways of Hun, you can be called Huno, and you can work. You can work with Hun anytime.
Van Perry from the US asks again, which is a group of spirits that have their own domain in the psychic realm?
So if witches are
a group of spirits that have their own domain in the psychic realm.
Okay, I'll tell you and everybody today that witches are the ones that follow God. As far as power is concerned, witches are the next to God. It's very strange, but it is true. Witches are not one energy, a group of energies. So you cannot fight a witch. You can only compromise with it. You can only have compromise with it. So we in Ewe Vodu, we don't fight witches. We will ask the witch what does it want in exchange for what is taken away from us. And if the witch agrees and tells us, okay, this is what I want, and once we give it to the witch, that's why we set table for witches. And once that witch accepts that thing, it leaves you alone. But you say you are going to fight it because you don't know how many forces you are fighting. So it is said that witches are next to God. I end my case.
Angel Zion asks, is marriage to some spirits a part of the Ewe Vodu tradition? I am asking from the Bahamas. If this is so, why is this important if you are already initiated into Vodu?
Read the question again.
Angel Zion from Bahamas asks, is marriage to some spirits a part of the Ewe Vodu tradition? If this is so, as in if this is true, why is this important if you are already initiated into Vodu?
Okay, Angel Zion, the truth about it is that Bahamas.
She's watching us from Bahamas.
Yes, Angel Zion, thank you for the question. You see, in Vodu, once you become a student, or how do I put this way? Not only a student, but once you acquire a Vodu and want to work with that Vodu, in Ewe, they will say you are the wife or husband of that Vodu. That's why we call something Hunsi, Huno, Vodusi, Mamisi, Asi. In Ewe means spouse. It can be a male, can be a female, Asi, which also means market. In another context, also means a spouse. So when you are working with a Vodu, if you are a woman, they will call you Vodusi. Means you are married to the Vodusi. And if people who are doing Mami Wata practice who say they have Mami Wata, me I don't have. So I don't know. But people do have. When they say, we call them in Ewe Mamisi or Mami Watasi. And if you are doing a tron, they will call you a tronsi. And if you are with any Vodu, which is also a Hun, they will say you are a Hunsi. So the word Asi means being married to a Vodu. It does not mean that if you are initiated, you cannot be called Vodusi, or you cannot be called because you have been initiated. Once you are initiated in the Vodu, you are automatically called Vodusi. It's not necessarily meaning that you are married as it is in the physical words, but that because you and that particular energy or entity or divinity are working together, you become like a husband and wife. Even if you are a man, sometimes they will call you as a wife of another spirit, even if the spirit is a male spirit. So it is not in any negative form whereby they call that people are married to voodoo or this thing. So it doesn't have anything to say that because you have been initiated, so you cannot be a married this thing. Please, I'm not talking about the way the Christians come in the church and so you have got a marine spirit that is married to you, or you got this thing. That is a very different way. When you say you are married to voodoo or you are working with voodoo, they will call you, and you and the voodoo are couples. You work together. Because if you are not a voodoo or you are not a hunsi, how can you work with the voodoo? How can the talk with you? So it is not in that negative term whereby they say a person is married and then that's why things are not happening. No. In voodoo, you have to be a voodoo or hunsi or mami watasi to work with the voodoo. So it is not in the negative term like marrying on the physical place. So Angel Zion, that's my answer. If you have something more to say or elaborate on it, you can come up with that.
Ifadara posted something about a question regarding Egbe. She says Egbe they are our heavenly mates. Everyone has one. I don't know the name in voodoo.
Okay, so if you are saying that they are our heavenly mates, it's like what people call the guardian angels, which we call in Ewe your destiny. Because it is each and everyone has their own. No two people have the same destiny, and no two people have the same essay. So if I will understand what you are talking about, Egbe, then it is possible that it is your essay. But then if I essay also doubles as your ori. The essay is also doubling as your ori. So no, Yoruba is a very deep language. So one part may use the ori and another person may use the egbe or other things. So I am not very deep into Yoruba. I have only basic knowledge in Yoruba, so I can't tell very well. But if I am understanding what you are asking here, if Adara, what you are asking here, then it will be likened to essay, your destiny, that which you came, or the divine entity that you came into the world with, who is your spiritual guide, physically as well as spiritually in the psychic world.
Julian Zeru has a question for you. He says his sister wants to practice voodoo. Can you help her?
Why won't the sister herself ask the question? Why won't your sister herself ask the question? Why do you ask on her behalf? If she wants to practice, she should ask.
Victor K. Abuchikui.
Hello, Victor. Welcome to our session again.
He says, greetings, Tobin.
Yes, I received a look me for behind me for African Magic Temple. Can
a newly prepared mirror for divination produce the same results with a mirror acquired over 30 years old? Or 30 years ago, that's what I believe.
Okay. Victor, what I will say is that the mirror is physical, prepared with herbs and other things. But the other part of the mirror is inside you, the diviner, or the person who is getting the mirror. It's a whole rituals over a long time. Mine took almost 5 years to complete. But then maybe it can also be done short, because the time that the old man was doing it for me, he was over 110 years old. He was quite old already. And then to walk to the bush and select the herbs, we have been going for a long time. Once when I come there, I live in Accra, he lived in the village. Anytime I go to the village, before he will have an opportunity to take me and then show me this herb and tell me what rituals to do and all that. So it might took very long time. But on the final moment of getting the mirror, the old man had to put certain things on my nose. He cut the spokes of an umbrella, the metal. They cut them into 2 small pieces. They put one on my nose here and another one here while I was looking up. Then they squeezed herbs on top of it. So when he started doing the incantation, those metals went into my head. They become the antenna that when I am doing a reading, once I do the invocation, that antenna start to going around to pick information to wherever I am sending the voodoo to go and pick the information. This is the process. So when a mirror is given to you and the same process and properly done, once the antenna is active, you can receive it just like a 30-year. But then, of course, everything is said that practice makes you perfect. If you are not practicing it and seeing the mistakes, maybe sometimes the mirror will be speaking to you, or the voodoos in the mirror are speaking to you, but you cannot pick it immediately, or sometimes you doubt that it is your own thoughts and all these things. So you need to practice and also be with someone who knows already how to do the mirror for some time. Then you are able to pick all the information. Then when you start practicing, it becomes easy for you. So if you want to get the mirror, come and see me. Editor, I'm joking. I don't give mirror to anybody yet. I will give my children first.
Ouroboros, who is also called Opeyemi from US, asked, "What is the
Opeyemi or Peyemi?
Opeyemi.
It's a Yoruba word. Opeyemi."
Okay. He asked, "Please, what is the significance of the emphasis you make on the P word when you blow air on the alligator pepper and on the voodoo during incantations?"
The word be. Besa. I was explaining this one recently. I don't know how many people read it. When Senna was talking about Besa, and some people start to make all kind of listen. Besa in Ewe means a binding word. Be is voice, language, word. Sa means to bind or to buy. So Besa is words that bind. So when you're going to give a takwi or atari or alligator pepper to someone that you are introducing a new spirit to, because the atari or the alligator pepper or the atakwi is the SIM card that you are putting into the phone or someone who you are introducing the person to. So when that one goes into the person connects with the network of the spirit and be able to work with that spirit. That's what it means. But before you can give it out, you must empower it. So you empower it with your voice. That's why you do to empower it, so that that seed that you bought from the market or whoever gave it to you becomes alive. It is just like doing a microchip in the factory, where you take a small microchip is set, and then the information is gathered onto it, so that when you put it into any computer or into any phone, it becomes active. That's what it means.
Omogun Aye from Togo says hi.
Hello, Mogul.
There are interdictions like do not whistle in the night, do not bath in the night, do not dry your clothes in the night, and other ones. What are the reasons behind those interdictions?
No reception.
Are they still applicable in our current time?
Hold on, I'm coming. I have my grandchildren arriving, so I want to find them place first. I have so many grandchildren. Tara is not the only child. Maxwell's children, my nephew's wife and my children. Yes? Yes, go with the question you let me. Okay, come and help him. He's tired. Yes, go ahead with the question now.
Hello from Togo.
Hello from Togo. Mogul. Yes, go ahead. I'll take your question now. Yes.
There are interdictions like do not whistle in the night, do not bark in the... There are interdictions like do not bark...
It's not interdiction, they are taboos. We call them taboos, not interdictions. They are taboos. Yeah, go ahead.
There are, so, examples...
A kodudu. Everybody's call it a kodudu. They are taboos. Yes, go ahead.
do not whistle in the night, do not bath in the night, and other ones. What are the reasons behind these? And are they still applicable in our current situation or in our current dispensation?
Okay, Mogul, I will say it in a very simple way that they are still applicable. You see, the one thing is that when a mirror is very, very dirty and it is not very clean, when you are looking at yourself, you can't see yourself very well. But you will see your image that you are in there, but you can't see all the details of your face in the mirror. So when you have a dirty mirror, even if you have a small hair growing here, you will not notice it. But when the mirror is very, very clean, moment you look into your face, you will see all the potholes and the pores and everything in your face. Why am I using this as a way to analyze this? A lot of people today don't feel the taboos happening on them because they are very far away from the truth. So when things are happening to them, they don't link it with things that they might have done or things that shouldn't have been done, and they did it. So they will not know and link it. Okay, for whistling at night, why our people said people shouldn't whistle at night is because we used to live in villages and nature was very close to us. Somebody had asked a question about the dwarfs and the Aziza at the Ekwe, which in the early part I was explaining. So the questions that were asked during that question concerning at the Ekwe, we in Eveland believe that the dwarfs speak through whistling. So when at night that dwarfs are passing by or are around our households and in our vicinity, in our communities, if you are whistling, you will attract them to you as if you were calling them. And if they come to you, you will not know how to handle them, and they could harm you. So for these reasons, we were advised not to whistle at night. Even in my shrine at African Magic Temple, in the past when this place was a very lonely place, when I say lonely, we didn't have many people in the house, and I only have spirits here, we were also kind of forbidden to whistle here at night. The time that we were also making the shrine of the dwarfs, we were also forbidden not to be whistling at night, so that when the dwarfs come and they start whistling, we will know the difference that they have arrived or they have come. But if human beings are whistling and the dwarfs also come and they are whistling, how will we know who has come and who has not come? So in the past, because of the presence of dwarfs that were closer to human environment, people were told not to whistle at night because they may invoke the wrath of the unseen entities. And there are some spirits, even though they are not dwarfs, they don't like to hear whistling at night. So they are advised. So when you whistle at night because you feel that you are living in a modern day, if anything is happening to you, you will not link it to the whistling because you don't see the relationship or with your whistling and what is happening to you, because we are very far away from the truth. The second one is don't bath at night. Even in my shrine, there are certain herbs when I give to you. When you bath, once you bath, you are not supposed to come out again at night. You have to hide in the room until daybreak, because spirits, there are 72 spirits as per the Jewish or Hebrew Kabbalah. And these spirits are called the Shemeham Forash and the Semi-Forash. 36 of them work in the daytime and 36 of them work at night. So the 24 hours, these 72 spirits are working continuously and interchanging in their work. So one works at this hour, and before the hour ends, another one comes in. So when you look into the chart of the Hebrew Kabbalah, you will see Archangel Gabriel, Gedula, Gebura, Tiperev, Amiel, all kind of entities. These entities also exist in our African culture, but their names are not called Gabriel and Amiel and whatever, Michael or all this. They have their names in our local language, like Archangel Aniel in my shrine is called Alajadu. It's not called Aniel, it's called Alajadu. And then if we talk of about Archangel Camiel, we call it in my shrine Jokpata. We call Archangel Camiel in my shrine Jokpata. So when we are talking about Jokpata, we are talking about that same entity, Archangel Camiel, he who wages war to end war. So we have all this in our is so every minute some spirit is working. So for you to be bathing at night, what about if the spirit that is going to work at that time is not a spirit that your vibration is in favor with? It will affect you. And then you some problem happen to you and you say it's a witchcraft catch me. My grandmother in the village is the one who is killing me. My grandfather is a wizard. All kind of things. You will not link them to your bathing at night. So it is advisable that in our places that don't bath at night. Even when you are inside your self-contained bedrooms and all these things, sometimes also it is good to bath before midnight, unless of course you are bathing herbs, which is going to empower your soul and your inner self, or to free you away from certain negative energies. But just bathing at night alone is not good. And when you go into Ifa stories and you go into other stories, you will see a lot of things that have happened and it has created problems. It is in our culture. It is not an archaic or an old kind of thing that because today we are living in modernization, so it doesn't happen. It happens, but you are not aware of it, and you may not link that to the difficulties or the challenges you are facing.
Okay.
Questions, because sometimes people say we are missing out their questions. So I want you to pick questions according to, don't jump them. Every question should be picked until where we stop. Otherwise, someone will say that their questions are not answered. So make sure you pick the question accordingly. Seiram and Kofi also can be looking onto their phone and see if there's any question that I did not answer. Ladies and gentlemen, all the people who are watching us, we are live from the African Magic Temple in Accra, Ghana, and we are on the Revolution platform. Please share so that other people can also get this information and use it to guide their life. Share on your platform so people can be connected.
Julius Zuru asks, what is the spiritual benefit of swimming or bathing seawater?
Julius, you ask very interesting questions each time. We believe in Voodoo, especially Ewe Vodu, that every river, every mountain, every tree, every mountain has got a spirit. And that's why we call it Voodoo. The Voodoo of the mountain, the Voodoo of the sea, Voodoo of the river, Voodoo of a tree, and all these things. And I believe that in some cultures, like the Japanese culture, also they have similar things. That's why they will call a mountain is Yama in Japanese. So when they want to mention the name of a mountain spirit, they'll say Yama no Kami, means the spirit of the mountain. Kawa no Kami, Mori no Kami. So you see that even some of their names are connected with all these things. So in every culture, or in every Voodoo, we believe that all these things have entities that are one way or the other helpful to man. So when you are going to bath in a river, it must be for a reason. You don't just jump into a river and say you are bathing. Then that one is just bathing. But when it is done as a ritual, the person who is teaching you, or the person who is leading the ritual, or the person who is instructing you will tell you the reasons and what you should expect. So when you ask the question, it's a general question, but then I'm not instructing you to go and bath in the sea, so I cannot tell you exactly what you are going to benefit from. But whoever is instructing you should be able to tell you the benefits of bathing in there. When you come to my shrine and I want to take you to the sea, it must be for a purpose, and I will let you know what that purpose is before going. But just jumping into the sea and say you are swimming and you are asking what benefit, I don't know.
Abayomi Balogun asks, what is the relation?
Balogun. Abayomi Balogun.
What is the relationship between
Balogun? Yeah, good afternoon wherever you are, or good morning to you. Yeah, thank you.
He wants to know the relationship between ancestors and masquerades.
Okay. To be honest with you, me, I don't believe in the masquerades. Why I said so is because I am a professional illusionist and a magician. And I see tricks and illusions I can identify. Masquerades are in a culture that have masquerades. Fortunately for me, I am from an Ewe culture where we don't have masquerades as our culture, except that in the form culture, which is very close to the Yoruba culture, they have the masquerades in the form of Zangbeto and some of this. But honestly speaking, if I would say I don't believe in the masquerades, that does not mean that the masquerade spirits do not exist. The masquerade spirits exist, but what is demonstrated in public as masquerades being coming out from a room and dancing and all these things, I don't believe in them. I will say it very clear and clean. I don't believe in them. But masquerade spirits definitely exist, because in our language, Ewe language, we have what we call a zato, which the four people are calling Zangbeto. And then we have the Kelegbeto, which is the daytime spirits. There are spirits that walk at night. You can't see them physically. It is once in a while, only one person or two persons or two people may see it. My son, Sarah, when he was about 3 years old, he was walking in between their area and he came across this big tall spirit. Being a child at the age of 3 or 4, he didn't know what it was, but then he was scared and he started crying. Before people came to pick him, he was crying and then he was just trying to describe the thing. That is how the masquerade spirit are. They are not like what you see that they say they brought them from the room and they start dancing and people are going around and putting things on so that people should not see the footprint of the person who is inside it. All those things, I don't believe in them. But I'm not saying they don't exist. For some people, this is how they practice their voodoo or practice their spirituality, and I'm not in place to discredit whatever they are doing. But I, as a person, I don't believe in them.
Zero asks, please, is Legba a voodoo?
Here we are in African Magic Temple. We are teaching it as it should be, as plain and clear as it is, so that if you are doing it, you will know what you are doing. You must. Is it off? We are teaching it as clear and clean as it should be, so that when you are practicing voodoo, you don't practice it out of fear. You don't practice voodoo because you don't know. You should be aware of what you are practicing, and you should know the ABC of it before going into it. Don't let anybody use anything to cloud your vision, whereby they will tell you, hey, if you don't do this, you will die. If you touch this thing, you will die. Yes, voodoo can kill you. It is very true. But then if you know, so it is, even though voodoo can kill you, everything in life can kill you. Even eating food can kill you. Drinking water can kill you. So it is in everything in life. It is not only voodoo that kills. A lot of people who died were not killed by voodoo. But the number of people who died in this way are many. Some are killed by wars. More than people who voodoo kill. If voodoo kill one person in a village, everybody else will hear. But when a bomb drops somewhere and kill more than 10 or 15 people, it is not story. You see how stupid we are? Just to label what we have as our culture, the white man told you is evil. So even if it is an ant that the voodoo kills, the whole world will hear that voodoo has killed an ant. Meanwhile, Donald Trump or Donald Duck, whatever you call him, he will go and let people kill people in Yemen. They will go to drop bomb in Syria, and people, innocent children will die. That doesn't mean anything. But if voodoo kill one person, the whole world will start clapping. Day in, day out, voodoo has killed somebody. Are we really serious people in this world? Or as black people, are we serious? And I tell you, it is even black people who will be on top of their voices and saying that their culture is evil. Obama and Hillary Clinton sent people to kill Gaddafi. Nobody is saying anything. When somebody steal your coconut in your coconut tree and you make voodoo and fall down, you will hear it. So I hope I have answered your questions.
Thanks, Papa. Julius Zero wants to know whether Nigla is a voodoo.
Nigla is a voodoo. What is Nigla or what is Togbe Nigla? That's what people don't know. Nigla is what we in Vedome we call Bedegu. And what is Bedegu? Ezupe Machirizu. Ezupe Machirizu. And what is that? That is the anvil. The anvil that the blacksmith uses to make knife, make traps, make gun, whether it is industrialized or this. That is the spirit Egu or Ogun in Yoruba or in Ifa, and that's called Egu. So that's why in our my area of Ewe dialect we call it Bedegu, Egu. So that stone, that anvil, where they use the hammer to shape irons and metals into farm tools and cutlasses and gun traps and everything, is what is called Togbe Nigla. We in our culture in Vodu, we worship and pay homage to those that anvil and hammer that has created the tools that bring food to our table. Because without the anvil and hammer, there will be no cutlass, there will be no hoe, there will be no gun, there will be no traps that are made of metal that goes into the forest or into the bush and bring food back home to us. So we pay very great homage to Bedegu or Nibla, as it is called by many people. Togbe Nibla. So that is what it is. Nibla is a voodoo. It's a throne. We have one strong one in our people. Yes.
Yause says thank you for answering his question. Joe N. Black.
Joe what?
Joe N. Black.
N. Black. Okay, Mr. N. Black.
Hello, Papa. My name is Kwashi from Holland.
Joe N. Black is saying so?
Yes.
His name is Kwashi too?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Kwashi, how are you?
From Holland.
From Holland, yes.
I heard that Ewe also worship Mami Water. Can you tell us something about that?
Yes, I had always been telling people that I don't have Mami Water among my spirits, and I don't believe in Mami Water, and I don't worship Mami Water. So when people ask me questions about Mami Water, I find it very difficult to answer the question. The reason why I say I find it very difficult to answer the question is that what I don't know, I don't like to answer or talk about it. There are people who call themselves Mami Water. They are the best people to answer such questions. I don't worship Mami Water, and I don't have any Mami Water spirit in my shrine. I may have spirits that are water spirits who I am working with, but I don't call them Mami Water. So for Mami Water spirit, as you are asking that people are asking or whether Ewe's worship Mami Water, yes, I know that we have people who are Mami Water priests here and there, but I don't know much about Mami Water, so I don't teach about Mami Water.
Sue and Wilton asks after Sue Ann
yes. Wilton.
Yes.
Okay.
After knowing who owns your head, what do you do after this? Especially if you are having dreams pertaining to this particular oration.
I think those things should be asked to people who are practicing Ifa. In Ewe Vodu, we don't talk about who owns your head. Nobody owns your head. Your essay is what is your owner of your head. It is only in Orisha worship or people who learn from the Yoruba tradition are saying that I heard that Obatala is the head owner of my head. I heard that no, I don't know much about that. In Ewe Vodu, we don't have anybody who owns anybody's head. Your head is owned by your essay.
Hello, my name is Joel from Cameroon. My family has wounds, and this is more or less like a trait, and it's been there since 20 years, and we've been trying everything to treat it, but nothing seems possible. What do I do about this?
What is your name?
Joel from Cameroon.
Joel, good afternoon where you are. And you're asking somebody in your family had a wound, or your families.
Your family, his family. It seems,
what do you mean by his family? Family is a big thing.
Yeah.
Is he a member of the family who has a wound, or is the families?
A wound trait. So
a wound trait in the family.
Yeah.
Where is the wound?
He didn't specify.
Ask him. Because when you say you have a wound trait, is it something that is happening every time everybody, when they born them, they have a wound? Or they grow up to some point and they have a wound? If it is a diabetic, we will talk about it that it is diabetic. So if people control their intake of carbohydrate and sugar and all these things, alcohol, then of course those wounds will not be there. When you say it's a trait, what means it is happening to different people? Is that not what that question signifies? So I must get more understanding of what exactly it is before I can answer the question, Joel. So send me more clarity on that question so that I can answer you.
Kwabina Anan says, thank you. Please, why do spirits manifest themselves first through a particular people, such as Ewe or Dagomba? Are there as many spirits as there are many people?
There are more spirits than human beings. What is the name? Who is asking the question?
Kwabina Anan.
Kwabina Anan. The truth is that there are more spirits than human beings. But it is not only Ewes and Dagombas who manifest spirits. Everybody manifests spirits. When you go into the Akain, when you go to an Akom priest, where we call people Akom Fuo, when they call someone Akom Fuo, means people who are working with Akom. Akom is as the same as Voodoo. The word Voodoo is every word for spirit. And then Akom is the Akain word for spirit in Akain. So there is not like the Dagombas or the Eves are not the same. What the Akains are practicing is also called Voodoo. If I, as an Ewe man, will want to talk about it, I will call it Voodoo. That this is a Akain people's Voodoo, or this is a Northern Voodoo. But then in the language of the people, they may not use the word Voodoo as the word to qualify that particular work they are doing. They may use their own traditional name, like I'm talking about Akom as the spirit. Akom for a person who worships Akom. But then in Ewe, we'll call it Vodusi or Huno. So it is not only Ewes or Dagombas, but there are more spirits than human beings. And sometimes spirits can be born as beings also.
Yes, we have a question from Chioma in US.
Yeah,
she asks, can you suggest any book or website that would help one study on Voodoo?
Chioma, I think what I can say is not the studying Voodoo, but studying African traditional spirituality, which is called Voodoo in every language. In Kenyan language, it may be different. And then in the Malian language, it may be different. In the Burkina Faso, it may be a different name. But it is African traditional spirituality, which is the same thing in everywhere. I will suggest that you go onto our website and read more about our African Magic Temple Revolution, our website as well as our page. And also you can go onto Ancestral Voices, where they have books and all other things, which is covering not only Ghana or Ewe Vodu, but the whole of Africa's traditional practices from different South Africa, Sangomes, and all to Darfur and this Dogon and all other things. So you go on to Ancestral Voices. You talk with Dalian Adolfo and his wife and other people, and they have got live parties that they do by explaining things. So go onto the internet and connect with Ancestral Voices, and then you get books that they are doing. There's a book that they wrote recently, not too long ago, about 2 years ago, and it also featured a lot of the works that they have a film. It's also featured a lot of the works that I do at my shrine here, because they use a lot of our videos to illustrate what they are teaching. And you can get them. It's called Spirit is Eternal, and other books that they have written, so many of them. So go on to it, and then you will learn more from there, or you at least begin from somewhere.
Okay, Kenneth wants to know the simple thing he can do to be lucky anywhere, any. He wants to know any simple thing he can do to be lucky anywhere.
There's nothing simple to do to be lucky. Everything that you do in Voodoo is a practical thing, and it is something that you have to be taught, and something that you must physically be given or impacted to. It's nothing like a simple thing in Voodoo whereby they say, oh, you just wish that you win a lotto and you win lotto. If you win that, that's your luck. But I don't know anything like that. But to be lucky, you need to go through a process. What makes you unlucky is because there are certain things around you that prevent your inner self from shining or showing itself, so that it can attract good things towards you. So whatever it is, the first and foremost is to get to know what is preventing your inner self from shining or expanding itself. And that can only be known through divination or reading. And if through divination and reading they have identified what is blocking you, and they will tell you which rituals you are supposed to do to clear yourself and clear your path, so that the good things that you are expecting in life can flow towards you. So that is the only thing I can think of.
Julius Zeus asks,
please share our live, so that people can everywhere will listen and know what is going on. Yes.
Please, Julius Zeus wants to know what is Besa. And Yila Okain says,
Besa, I have already explained it, and it is already on Revolution platform. I have broken the words down, Be and Sa, and what it is. I have just even talked about it. So he can go back onto Revolution platform. I have explained about Besa, what it is.
Hila Okain says thanks for the teaching.
Hila, thank you very much for joining us here.
Ifadara wants to know whether Voodoo and Ifa can work together.
Yes, Ifadara, Voodoo and Ifa are working together, not if they can work together. When you go into Benin, Republic of Benin, which used to be called Dahomey, meaning the home of snakes, if 4 people are having Voodoo, but they are using Ifa also to work their Voodoo. When you come to Togo, the Ewes in Togo and Ghana, we are using Afa as the navigator to work our Voodoo. So Voodoo and Ifa or Afa are working together long before my great-grandfather was born. Are we done with questions? Like I said, bye-bye.
Well, no, please.
We only take another three more questions, and then we'll talk about the oil. I think I've already spoken about the oil and this thing already.
But if you can touch on it again, the oil. But if you can touch on the oil again, the oil.
No, I was saying that with Akain's oil, this is the first time that we are going to give it out to the public. It has always been with me and my family only, and we had got the benefit, and we know what it does and how it works with us. That is Akain as a Voodoo. But then the Akain oil does a lot of things. It's an attraction oil that when you use, you attract good things towards you. But now I am trying to give it to the public by giving it out. But I am doing it as a package of the oil, the fumigation, and the aura enhancing soap. These three, we are trying to package it. We have not yet actually put any price on it, but then I want to discuss it with my children and others also, so that we can know exactly how much it will be going for. I think the other day I showed the bottle in which the oil is, but the unfortunate thing is that we are not sure whether the post office, this is the bottle the oil will be in. We are, and I am only going to give out for the first time. We will only making 20 pieces, and we will let these 20 pieces. If once these 20 pieces are gone, we won't be doing it for a very long time until we start getting the results from people. So it is not something that I'm going to give out continuously because you have money you want to pay, I will give you. No, it's not going to be like that. I'm going to give the 20 out, or I'm going to sell the 20 out. It will come with the soap and the fumigation, and we'll be sending it out. But we have not actually decided on the price yet, but we will. Maybe if not today, somehow very soon we will, because we have not we have realized that a lot of people are requesting for this thing, and what I have is not plenty. So I'm going to prepare the soap, I'm going to prepare the fumigation also, and then the oil. I've got all the materials, and the children have already started helping me to make them. After they make them, I'll concentrate them, and I'll check at each and every one of the oil and the soap to make sure that they are really good to be able to impact on people when it gets to the people. So bear with me, let me take my time and do it properly, so that when it gets to you, you know that you are receiving something that can change your life. You will soon hear from me on the price. It's not because it's going to be expensive, that's why, but I just want to know what kind of price to put on it. For us to post this oil outside, it is also depending on the post office, whether post office will accept the oil. Because when you are posting things, it is more difficult than when somebody comes to you and buy it and take it away. Because the post office may say, oh, it may spill, so they won't take it. So I was only thinking that I may only give it to people in Ghana, or sell it to people in Ghana, or anybody who is physical, the person can carry it with them. But unless the post office agrees that I can send it, then of course people in other parts of the world can also receive. Are we done with questions?
No, please. Tony Anthony asks, how can one get closer to his inner spirit?
How can one get closer to his inner spirit? Tony, what you are asking is a very good question. You can only get closer to your inner spirit by observing yourself. Try to listen to your instincts very attentively, and don't be doubting everything that comes into your mind. Experiment and experience with it, and if you have to doubt it, you doubt it. So how you can get closer to your inner spirit is being attentive to yourself.
Charlie Geffordy asks,
Charlie Geffordy.
Okay, Charlie Geffordy. Please, can a person who doesn't come from a lineage of priests become a voodoo priest?
Whose lineage was the first voodoo priest from? If you can answer that question, then you got your answer. There is nobody who was born to be a voodoo priest. Anyone who is able to acquire voodoo, and the voodoo is working with the person is automatically a voodoo priest. So you don't need to be from any lineage of voodoo priests. Just like what the diaspora has been saying, that you must come from that lineage, you must come from that bloodline. It's not true. Anyone can be a voodoo priest. But what you cannot be is that you cannot become the priest of my shrine because you are not from my line. Then you can acquire voodoo and you can start on your own and continue. Or if your ancestors have voodoo, you can continue from their distance. But if somebody tells you that you just have to be from some blood lineage before you can acquire voodoo, it's not a true thing. The person himself does not know. Once the voodoo is made for you, it has nothing to do with this thing. When we are talking about ancestors, they are totally different from voodoo. And a lot of people are confusing and convincing people and creating misunderstanding in the minds of people as if the ancestors and voodoos are the same. They are not. Voodoo is a nature spirit. Ancestors are people who share the same blood lineage with you. I cannot go and be calling your ancestors to come and intercede on me, on my behalf. But you can call your own ancestors to intercede on your behalf, and I will also call upon my ancestors to intercede on my behalf. But for voodoo, anyone can have a voodoo and let the voodoo work for them. So it is nothing like saying that you need to come from a blood lineage before you have a voodoo or become a voodoo priest. It's not true.
Selassie Nutako, can I come to you for divination or reading?
Yes, we do. That's the work we do. If you want a divination, we have our telephone numbers on our website, either on the Revolution website or African Magic Temple website. And you can contact us and I will give you direction how to come and when to come. If they are done, are we done?
Okay. Selassie Nutoko was also asking about the oil, but since you've explained...
the oil will get to people soon. It will get to people soon. You see, the Akain is a very small bottle. So to get the oil out of this to all of you, it's going to take some, but it will get to you.
Julius Zewu asked, please, last week you spoke about tetragrammaton on the handkerchief.
Yes.
On the table in front of you.
Yes.
Please, can you elaborate on it? Because you did not get it well.
Julius, tetragrammaton is in the dictionary. Tetragrammaton is on the Google. Tetragrammaton is in everything. Tetragrammaton, the figure of tetragrammaton, which is the star of, this is not the Star of David, but this is the tetragrammaton, or people call it the pentagrammaton. That is why when you see the Pentagon in the US, the building is actually based on the pentagrammaton or the pentagram, which is representing the figure of God in Hebrew or Kabbalah. It's a five-pointed figure, which is this. So it invokes it gives control and command over other spirits when you use this figure. So when you are doing spiritual practices, because I had practiced Kabbalah and I've also practiced Spiritism, I had practiced the invocation of spirits in mirror, in a glass of oil, in a glass of water. I have practiced these things from my childhood. So there are certain symbols that put fear into spirits or make them obedient when you are invoking and calling them. That is one of the symbols, is the pentagram or the tetragrammaton. When you use that symbol, spirits become obedient to you because they know that you know their master.
Oh, well, we don't have any further questions. But if there's any question from anyone here,
and you cannot show that everybody can see. These are the people who are in the section today physically live. We have Seyiram there. We have Selassie. We have Celestino. We have Frankie, and then Agbemasu. Our security men, and then we have Dan Apokli, and then Bokor Bullet. So we have been part of the section today, and then we have Sena Israel also in front of us, helping us through the whole thing. So we thank all of you for being part of today's section. And post your questions on the online, and the ones that we couldn't answer, now we will answer them for you while online again. So post your questions. Some of them Senna and Pele will answer them. Some I will answer them. And also give us suggestions how we can make this our normal Facebook Live easy for everybody to see. Each time that we are doing this thing, please share it on your platforms so that others can also see. We were trying to stream on YouTube Live. Some people were asking us to start streaming live on YouTube because not everybody is on Facebook. We agree with them. But unfortunately for us, YouTube is saying that we have not got the number of subscribers to our African Magic Temple platform or channel on the YouTube. So YouTube cannot allow us at the moment to stream live. We tried, and we try even using other apps to get onto it, but we come to this. So if you guys want to watch us on YouTube Live, then you should subscribe to African Magic Temple's channel on YouTube Live until we get to a number of 1,000 people subscribers. Then YouTube will give us the go ahead or the green light so that we can transmit or be on YouTube Live while we are also on Facebook Live at the same time. So that the ball is in your court. I myself, I cannot become a 1,000 member. So it is you people who subscribe to it, and then the go ahead will be given to us. Thank you very much today for being with us. And if in case we did not answer your question, please put your question again. And if we answer your question but you did not really understand what we were saying, you can ask it again. And if you had asked a question and I told you to elaborate, that's why I couldn't answer, please ask the question again and elaborate on it so that when I read, I can understand, and then I'll try to answer. Thank you very much, and I wish you all well. I pray for all of you that this week will be a wonderful week for you. All that you are needing and wanting should come your way. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
See you.